Jeremy Fowler covers the Steelers as they get ready to open up their season. Now, we did our feature a couple of weeks ago, the teams chasing the Eagles.
Yeah.
One of them in the AFC has got to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jeremy. I got to imagine that they figure this crew that they have is at least prepared for one more push towards a Super Bowl with this core that they have together.
Well, they're going to have to think that because the championship window might be closing, if not this year, then in the next few. I mean, Le'Veon Bell most likely to have free agency in March. Antonio Brown's 30 years old, Ben Roethlisberger's 36. They've never been past the AFC championship round. So if they're going to put it together, it needs to be this year or next, most likely, with this crew and this offense being pretty much top 5 to 6 every year.
Yeah, you mentioned Antonio Brown, who's coming off of the injury. Le'Veon Bell's out with the contract stuff, and then of course Ben Roethlisberger, who is getting to the end of the line here. Do you look at this team offensively still as the identity of the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because for years, even though they were always good, they were a defensive-minded team. But it seems that offense is kind of the calling card for this team.
Well, they've totally rebuilt their secondary and their defense. They're hoping to change that a little bit, be more balanced, but they got closer last year. But, they still have those late season miscommunications, breakdowns on the back end where they give up 42 points to Jacksonville. And so they're just not quite there. They've gotten better, but really all their first and second round draft picks the last 4 or 5 years have been on defense because of Roethlisberger, Bell, and Brown sort of holding everything together. And, certainly they want to be able to score 30 points a game. But they're going to need more defensively from guys like Bud Dupree, you mentioned, Artie Burns, first-round quarterback in his 3rd year. Guys like that, they need to make a sizable job starting now.
Jeremy Fowler with us, Steelers, Eagles tonight in preseason. Jeremy, how's the vaunted Steelers defense looking so far?
Well, to be honest, they've won most of the goal line exercises that the Steelers do in training camp. They do this drill called 7 shots. That's how they open every practice. And goal line, 2-yard line offense versus defense. And they usually come out winning 4-3 or 5-2. So that to me is a good sign that they're not maybe having those breakdowns on the back end and the passes in that they've had in the past. And a guy like Joe Hayden really helps. They have more depth on the back end. T.J. Watt, that's big things for him in his 2nd year. And it's really Cam Hayward has come into his own as an all-pro defensive end. So, they've got the pieces in place. For them, what was curious about them is the run defense was so bad late in the year, which they're not accustomed to seeing. And lots of Ryan Shazier, they just can't replace a guy like that is the problem. So inside linebacker is going to be the issue.
How's Hayden fitting in there, Joe Hayden at left corner? Because that was a big pickup for them last year. Is he a guy that they look like as being a key to that defense?
Yeah, they felt really fortunate to get him last year after he was let go by Cleveland. He was just sitting out there ready to be signed, and they couldn't believe it. There's a guy that was still only 28 when he signed there last year, and he got himself healthy, he changed his routine. He made sure that he was fresh for every season, and he loves just being on a contender after being in Cleveland for so long, and the losses just piled up, and it was brutal for him. So, he's their number 1 corner, and unless Artie Burns takes a huge jump this year, Hayden's really the guy that they're going to rely on. He's maybe not, I think maybe 5 years ago he was knocking on the door being a top 5 guy. He's maybe not there right now, but he's certainly in a high tier.
What are some of the things, as we talk with Jeremy Fowler, for a Pittsburgh beat reporter for ESPN, what are some of the things Eagles fans can expect to see, Jeremy, from the Steelers team tonight? I know there aren't some of the big names in there, but there's still guys that are competing and trying to fight for jobs.
Yeah, it's familiar to the quarterback position because you've got 3 guys that are going to play. Landry Jones, who really when it came draft time, everybody wondered what his future was because they drafted Josh Dobbs in the 4th round a year ago, drafted Mason Rudolph in the 3rd round, back-to-back years. All those guys are going to play tonight. But Jones has been steady in camp and really has been good for the last couple of years behind the scenes backing up Roethlisberger. So I don't see them moving on from him unless Rudolph is phenomenal over the next month. And so, I'm going to start there because all 3 guys are going to play snaps, or at least that's Mike Tomlin's plan. And, Mason Rudolph has looked good over the last week, kind of coming to his own as a rookie, but now he's got to show it when he's getting hit. Of course, in practice, he never takes any shots.
So Eagles-Steelers tonight, preseason football finally opens up. How's the whole quarterback dynamic worked out in your mind? Because, the Steelers, Big Ben's time, the clock is ticking. Of course, they take Rudolph in the draft, and Big Ben didn't seem to be too thrilled with that.
Well, at the time, his argument was that, if we do have that small window to win, it's not going to be there forever. We need to get another key positional asset that can help us on defense, the running game, wide receiver, tight end. I think he was thinking maybe they get another toy for him to play with on offense instead of somebody to back him up again for the second year. But things are back to normal now. They got James Washington, the second-round pick, a wide receiver that really is looking the part now. And so he might be the deep threat that they need. And, Roethlisberger does his thing. He comes in, he throws the ball around and then gets the occasional day off. And he's in good shape. He came in and lost more than 10 pounds this offseason. So, things are back to normal for the most part.
Jeremy Fowler's with us here. Steelers and Eagles coming up tonight right here on 97.3 ESPN. And what is the latest with Bell? I know you reported a couple of weeks ago that he was expected to skip all of training camp but report for week one, similar to last year. Is that seemingly how this is going to end up?
I think so. Nothing's changed on that front as far as I've gathered. His plan, from what I was told, is the same as last year. You show up maybe that weekend before week one or that Monday of game week, and you jump right back into the lineup, get into the playbook, and you're ready to go for week one. And, the Steelers, their concern has always been, as it was last year, that he's going to be in shape, but is he going to be in football shape? And last year, the first 3 weeks, he started a little slow, 3.46 yards a carry in those first 3 weeks. So that is a factor, and, Bell will try to simulate football speed while he's away in South Florida training. But really, for him, it's a stand against injury. He doesn't even want to risk it in any way. But he's going to show up when he's good and ready.
Hey, Jeremy, Pittsburgh, one of the teams that still does, they go away to the college, right? St. Vincent College, and they're in the dorms. They don't hold it at their own complex or anything like that. How long have you been on the beat covering that? And do you think, are you pro that, or do you think they should fall in line with the rest of the NFL teams that do it all at their own complex?
Yeah, and it depends on who you talk to. This is my fourth camp. If you talk to Mike Tomlin, he'd want to live there. He loves camp. He loves having those guys there and living wall to wall. The white brick walls and the wooden desks and the twin beds and all that. So it's quite the environment, but it's football heavy all the time, and that's how he likes it. I don't see the Steelers changing that anytime soon. I believe this is their 53rd camp at St. Vincent College in Latrobe, and they've had a long-standing relationship with the college and the people there. And, fans come out and they'll watch. And so I don't see it changing really anytime soon. The players, would they like to have it at their facility? I'm sure some would, but, they get the nostalgia of it, too. I think they have fun with it.
All right, tonight it's right here on 97.3 ESPN. The coverage starts at 6 o'clock. Eagles and Steelers, the Super Bowl champs, are back. And we'll have that for you tonight. Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, covering the Steelers with us here on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, thanks, guys.